After Arsenal missed out on Morgan Rogers, where he was snapped up by Chelsea, they are now looking to go in for Vinicius Junior. Does a player like that guarantee that they retain the title? Yes, people, welcome to Total Football, my new football channel where we react to all of the latest and biggest news headlines in the world of football. And today we're going to talk about an article that just broke on The Athletic from David Ornstein saying Arsenal are negotiating with Real Madrid for Vinicius Junior. But guys, before we get into it, do not forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so we can get this out to more people. Right, so first up, David Ornstein posted this on X exclusive. Arsenal exploring move to sign Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid. AFC interest early stage and clubs not yet in talks, but idea approved at all levels. Much rests on contract process as no breakthrough yet, and Real Madrid FC do not want free exit. So this is a crazy situation, man. Vinicius Junior's contract ends in 2027, so he's literally coming into the last year, and if he doesn't want to sign a new deal, then they could literally risk losing him on a free. That'd be nuts, wouldn't it? And do you know what? There would be some poetic irony in that from Real Madrid, in particular when you consider how many times they've got really good players on free transfers over the last few seasons. But there's a few interesting things in this tweet. The fact that they're going in for him is kind of nuts. We'll obviously get into that in a bit more detail later. They've already got a player lined up, which is another thing we're going to get into in a minute. And it says, although there are no club talks yet, the idea has been approved at all levels. So I assume that means Real Madrid have said, yeah, you can come in and have a conversation for him. I couldn't even hazard a guess at how much this is going to cost at the moment, largely based on how absolutely mental the market has been this season. If you think about Jan-Paul van Hecke, right? 52 million to Tottenham, he was in the last year of his deal, whereas Chelsea have just bought Maxence Lacroix, who you would argue they're similar standard of players, for 52 mil with 3 years left on his deal. So what this says is all of the power lies in the selling club at the end of the day. If Real Madrid want 100 million for him, that's what they'll ask for, because he will still be useful to Jose Mourinho for another season, even if they risk losing him on a free. But obviously they wouldn't want to do that. So the other piece of news that gives this some validity is the news that broke yesterday. Fabrizio Romano posted this: breaking, Real Madrid submit initial bid for Yann Diomande to Red Bull Leipzig with club-to-club talks underway. Contacts have started this week between the two clubs, as Bild reported. Negotiations ongoing also with the players' camp. So Yann Diomande, hot property. Amazing season at Red Bull Leipzig last year, and lots of different clubs have been linked with him. Man City recently just dropped out of the race. Liverpool were really interested in him before they seemed to shift over to Bradley Barcola of PSG. So already it looks like they might have the replacement that they're looking for Vinicius Junior. That it would be a bit wild if Vinicius Junior goes, because he kind of part of the reason that Xabi Alonso ended up leaving Real Madrid in the first place, which I, as a Chelsea fan, am ecstatic about, by the way, because I'm very happy to have him at our club. But for Vinicius Junior to potentially be one of the reasons that Xabi Alonso got pushed out, and a few of the last managers have not exactly had amazing times there, for him then just to leave on a free, seems a little bit weird, doesn't it? So Vinicius Junior, I mean, just what a player, man, what a player. I've got some stats here to look at. This is Vinicius Junior's last 5 seasons at Real Madrid. In each one of them, he's got 30 plus GA. The only outlier there is where it says 2025, 1 goal, 1 assist. That was for the Club World Cup because it's in between seasons, so it's been marked as a separate season. In 21-22, 22 goals and 16 assists for 38 GA. 22-23, he got 23 goals and 19 assists for 42 GA. He had a bit of an off season the year after in 23-24 with 24 goals, 9 assists for 31 GA. Picked back up in 24-25 with 21 goals and 15 assists for 36 GA. Got 1 goal and 1 assist in the Club World Cup over 6 performances. And last season in 25-26, 22 goals and 10 assists for 32 GA. Absolutely wild. He's such a good player. They had him for a really long time as well. They bought him from, I think he was 16 when they got him initially. And they really, they weren't always up for giving these really young players time to develop. You remember the likes of Martin Odegaard, for instance, who was a Real Madrid player at 16. Didn't develop quick enough. Went on to prove that he was actually a really good player. So we're going to go through the article on The Athletic. I'm going to read it and we're just going to kind of react to and talk about it. That was posted by David Ornstein and James McNicholas. Arsenal are exploring a move to sign Real Madrid winger Vinicius Junior if he does not extend his contract in the Spanish capital. The Brazil international, 26, he's only 26, figures prominently among multiple candidates for the Premier League champions to bolster their attack. That said, the interest is at an early stage and there is no guarantee it materialises into a deal. There have been no club-to-club talks yet, but the idea has approval at all levels within Arsenal. Okay, so nothing from Real Madrid yet, but everyone at Arsenal is like, yeah, cool, let's go and get Vini Junior. Vinicius Junior is into the last 12 months of his terms after 8 campaigns, and there has so far been no breakthrough in negotiations over a renewal. Real Madrid will not want to countenance losing the forward for free, especially as he would be due significant loyalty bonus next season. Oh, it's all about the money. Vinicius Junior impressed during this summer's World Cup, playing in all 5 of Brazil's games and scoring 4 times before Carlo Ancelotti's side lost to Norway in the round of 16. He registered 22 goals across all competitions for Real Madrid in 25-26 as they finished a second consecutive season empty-handed, coming second in La Liga, 8 points behind Barcelona. Vinicius Junior joined Real Madrid in 2018 from Flamengo and has made a total of 375 appearances, registering 128 goals and 100 assists, 228 GA in 8 seasons. That's absolutely wild. So this whole thing's wild, man. This whole thing's wild. But from the Arsenal side, if you miss out on your top target in Morgan Rogers because you don't want to pay 117 mil for him, is the idea that they'll pay less than that for Vinicius Junior? Because I don't think so, man. If I'm honest, like, I think we just looking at the way the market's going at the moment, even with a year left on his deal, Arsenal will probably be under the impression that they will be able to leverage that against Real Madrid to get a favourable deal. But Real Madrid are not going to... It's Real Madrid. It's Jose Mourinho. Even though they're going in for Yan Diomande, they won't be taken for a ride, will they? I can't see it being anything less than 100. Even with a year left on his deal, he's so valuable. He's so valuable. And even if he doesn't go, they've still got the rest of next season to try and get him to sign a new deal at the end of the day. I'd be interested to know what Jose... I mean, you wouldn't have thought Jose Mourinho wanted to lose him. You know, Yan Diomande is a bit younger. Jose Mourinho likes experienced players. Vinicius Junior's got 30 plus GA every single season for the last 5 seasons and has got 228 GA in his time there. Absolutely wild. Easily one of the best players in the world. Potentially some ego issues to deal with, like a really big character, and maybe that's one of the problems because Real Madrid have lots of really big characters in the dressing room at the moment. You would have thought Jose Mourinho is the guy to sort that out, though. But like I say, for me, this is further backed up by the fact that seemingly out of nowhere, they've gone in for Yan Diomande as well to kind of cover that role. Look, man, Real Madrid are going to be a force next season, and the signings they've made are so smart. They've done loads of really cheap deals, got people on free transfers and stuff, and got so much experience into the team. They did things like re-sign Antonio Rudiger on another deal. Him and Jose Mourinho are probably going to get on like a house on fire. They still got Jude Bellingham. They still got Mbappe. You know, there's other players you don't hear so much about anymore, like what's his name, Rodrigo, for instance. Like, does he maybe get an opportunity there if Real Madrid leaves? Because he has been there and he's done reasonably well for the last few seasons. But if they go out and spend a huge amount of money on someone like a Yan Diomande, who knows? So guys, I want to know what you lot think about this in the comments. It seems wild for Arsenal to miss out on Morgan Rogers, who was supposedly their top target, to go for Vinicius Junior. That means that they're not playing stinky Brexit ball next season, doesn't it? Let's just be honest. Like, Vinicius Junior is not going to Arsenal and being like, yeah, I'm cool with scoring 10 goals next season because, you know, Piero Hincapié and Saliba and Declan Rice and Zubimendi are going to spend 80% of the time with the ball, and we're going to try and get all of our goals from long throws and this, that and the other. Like, Vinicius Junior wants to be the best player in the world. He's just got that ego about him, and he's scored so many goals. He scored so many goals for Real Madrid. He's going to want to come in and score at least 20 in the Premier League from left wing as well. So this would be an indication to me, if they really ramp up this interest and start putting bids in, that maybe they're not going to go in with the stinky Brexit ball next season. And as they were before they won the Premier League, because obviously they won the league doing that, but for the few seasons before that, when they were nearly Rans, they were playing expressive, free-flowing, high-intensity attacking football, and they were a good team to watch. Bukayo Saka looked like an absolute monster when they were playing that kind of football, and they do still have a lot of the players to do it. So is Vinicius Junior some sort of indication that in fact they're not going to be playing this kind of more defensive focused style of football in order just to win the league, and they really want to go and attack it, especially after losing out on a lot of the, well, 2 massive targets? They wanted Sandro Tonali, he's gone to Spurs. They wanted Morgan Rogers, he's gone to Chelsea. Are Arsenal now starting to get frustrated with the fact that all of their big targets are being taken? And this would be a statement signing. This is the kind of signing, easily, like, I can see Arsenal fans already, if you get Vinicius Junior, that every single one of them will be happier to get Vinicius Junior than they would Morgan Rogers. I would have thought, right? Because of the profile of the player, literally up there with the best players in the world, in the Brazil international team. He's been a mainstay in the Real Madrid first team for the last 5 seasons at the very least, but he's been there for 8, and he's getting 30 GA every single season. And what does it mean for the Premier League? If you're an Arsenal fan or if you're not an Arsenal fan, I'm a Chelsea fan, right? So, you know, I'm a little bit biased. So I want to know what you guys think. Does buying a Vinicius Junior guarantee Arsenal retain the title? if they add, because Martinelli and Trossard probably barely got 20 between them in the Premier League last season. If Vinicius Junior comes in and can score 20 goals and get 10 assists, gives them an extra, probably an extra 10, 15 GA on what they've lost in Trossard, and Martinelli goes to the bench or gets sold probably. You got to think Martinelli, if Vinicius Junior comes in, he's like, I'm never going to get to play again. So yeah, can Vinicius Junior take Arsenal back to being that free-flowing attacking team that they used to be, but also does he guarantee that they win the league next season? So I'll keep an eye on this story as it heats up. This is going to be a relatively short video because this is the only thing that I'm talking about, but guys, I really want to know what you think about the whole situation. Vinicius Junior to Arsenal, how much do you think he'd cost? I think it'd be 100 mil plus regardless of the fact that he's got a year left on his deal. Do you think that it indicates that they're going to return to the free-flowing attacking football of old? And do you think that it guarantees that they retain the title? Nice one, guys. Thanks very much for sticking around for today's episode of Total Football. I'll catch up with you all very soon. Take it easy. Peace.